Hello, I'm Alex Rosa, Learning Center Agronomist.
I'm Thiago, Learning Center Trainee.
And today we want to talk about cover crop termination dates and how that impacts our cash crops. So we're going to take a look on the number of pods in soybeans according to those cover crop termination dates, and we also take a look at some corn plants and how that is affecting our corn ears. So check that out.
To start with soybeans, what we have here is 6 different scenarios or 6 different cover crop termination dates. The first one, no, we don't have cover crops. We didn't put any cover crops. Termination here was 2 weeks before planting, 1 week before planting, termination at planting, 1 week after planting, and 2 weeks after planting. So we counted number of pods and nodes of the soybean plants. So I sampled 3 soybean plants per plot randomly. And what we found so far is that the sweet spot for cover crop termination is 1 week before planting or at planting, with the highest number of pods and nodes. However, these plants are still in R4, so we will have more pods to form. So let's see how it was for corn.
Okay, when we look at corn and cover crop termination dates, like Thiago said, we have the same 6 scenarios that he mentioned earlier in the video. The cool thing to observe here on corn, especially talking about western Nebraska, even though this is an irrigated corn, those beans were also irrigated. We really need to be careful when managing cover crops, especially if you have a grass cover crop like cereal rye in this case, and you're following with corn. In these plants here, what you can observe is very minimal differences coming from a no cover crop scenario up to probably at planting scenario. You know, they are kind of a similar size of plant. You know, they apparently don't have any stress here unless you go more to an extreme case of terminating 1 week after or 2 weeks after. Well, if you notice, terminating cover crops 2 weeks after planting, it basically delays your growth stages. So while this other corn is probably going towards R3 already, our last treatment here just got to R1, as you can see by the color of the silks there. Now let's take a quick look at the ears. I'm gonna peel them off and we'll take a look at them. Okay, so looking at those corn ears that we just talked about, coming from no cover crop, cover crop terminated 2 weeks before planting, 1 week before planting, at planting, 1 week after, and 2 weeks after. What really stands out, of course, as we delay too much that cover crop termination date, as I mentioned before, you have a delay on that crop growth. So in this case, most of the ears, if not all of them, are at R3-ish, and then our late terminated going to R1 still. Not a whole lot of differences here from the other termination dates. Again, that's likely because we have irrigation, we had plenty of nitrogen, so not really a stressful year, but it's always good to mention if you are in a limited rainfall area, you really want to stay probably around here, you know, either doing terminated cover crops a couple weeks before planting. You know, if you have irrigation, you have a nitrogen management that supports your cover crops, you can maybe go with at planting, like a planting green, but really careful with this scenario. I would probably use more of legume crops instead of going with cereal rye. That's all we have for today. Shoot us a message if you have any questions. Stay tuned and we'll talk more later.